Well, hello, welcome and welcome back. It's Kesha, and we are on our next section of Prosperity's 10 Commandments by Georgiana Tree West. Let us go ahead and begin by closing our eyes and centering. So take a deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. And on the next in-breath, just pick up all the busyness, the cares, concerns, dramas, and situations from the day and the week and release them. Another deep breath in, pick up any remnants that might be left. And out. And on the next in-breath, just check in to see how you feel. And if you feel like you're attached or corded to anything, anyone, or any situation, just see that cord releasing now and going back to source. Likewise, if you feel that anything is corded or attached to you, feel that cord release and go back to source. We should now be moving to a space of being clear, free, and unattached. And now on your next in-breath, see a column of bright light coming down over you. Feel yourself at peace in the sanctuary of this light. Notice how it quickens the cells of the body, how it brightens your divine spark, and how you generally feel whole. Continue to breathe in that light, feeling your heart open, your vision and mind expand. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. There we are. Chapter 6, the Sixth Commandment. Thou shalt not take thy wealth out of circulation. Analogous to, thou shalt not kill. Every commandment that is of God voices an essential truth. This truth is applicable in the life of every member of the race at all stages of his existence. In the Sixth Commandment, thou shalt not kill, we again have such an essential truth. It is a grave mistake to limit the meaning of this commandment to the taking of human life. So construed, it ceases to be of further value to those who have evolved to the point where the idea of taking human life is abhorrent. Since the commandment of God never ceases to be an essential truth, to be obeyed constantly by every man, we must look to the idea incorporated in the word kill for enlightenment. To kill is to destroy. A slanderous word can kill a reputation. Many a peaceful home situation has been broken up through destructive words, words that kill confidence and destroy happiness. We oftentimes kill our own ideals through destructive thoughts of fear or doubt, or through letting in influences of our own lower nature to gain the ascendancy. All that is evil is allied with death and destruction. Evil thoughts and words are killers, and he who exercises them is so disobeying the Sixth Commandment. I love that she takes the time to expand on what everyone thinks is a very simple and basic commandment, thou shalt not kill, as if we didn't already know we shouldn't kill each other. But it is beyond simply killing one another, because again, kill is to destroy or to cause destruction. And we do that with our words, and we do that with our thoughts, and we do it to others, and we do it to ourselves. But if we are aware of the Sixth Commandment in its broader sense, that could be a teaching that as we live with and move within our world, then things become better, because then we're not harboring ill will and expressing ill thought towards other people or towards ourselves, right? We grow from that expression of moving towards love, which the Sixth Commandment is speaking to, but from the position of not having it. There is a still more subtle idea connected with the word kill. Again, the idea of death is incorporated in it. Death is disintegration. Stagnation is the starting point of all disintegration. And lack of circulation is the cause of stagnation. So she's taking each step back, right? We find then in this commandment an exhortation to keep our good in circulation. As we circulate the gifts of God, they increase in our life in proportion as their values increase in the lives of others. For instance, if we desire more love in our life, we must lay hold of our spiritual love nature, establish love in our heart, and give it out freely. Words of kindness, thoughtfulness, friendliness are carriers of love to the minds that receive them. In all hearts, even the heart of the most hardened person, there is a wellspring of love. For love, wisdom, and power are inherent in life itself. We often hear the expression, "His heart was touched." What we really mean is that the love nature of his being responded compassionately to a call of need or happily to the call of kindliness. We never hear of a heart being touched by any hardness or antagonism. The same kindly word that opens up the love nature of the individual carries his love back to the speaker of the word. It may be shown in 101 different ways. It is a great truth that love begets love. And in truth, we get more of everything that we put out, right? Whether it's if we put out negativity, we reap the rewards of that negativity. If we put out more love, then we expect to and we receive greater love. We have only to start practicing the circulation of loving thoughts, words, and actions in our life to prove this. It is correspondingly true that if we desire much joy and happiness, we must radiate more happiness into the lives of others. If we want more vigor and vitality, we must put to work the physical energy we already have. If we want success and prosperity, we must use to the utmost what is already ours. In other words, stagnation is death, but circulation is life. Prosperity's sixth commandment, therefore, is, "Thou shalt not take thy wealth out of circulation." In his book, Hidden Power, Judge Troward says, "Now the spirit is life, and throughout the universe, life ultimately consists in circulation, whether within the physical body of the individual or on the scale of the entire solar system. And circulation means a continual flowing around, and the spirit of opulence is no exception to this universal law of all life." He also says, "We must look upon ourselves not as misers' chests to be kept locked for our own benefit, but as centers of distribution." Because if we live in a loving and supportive universe and our supply is of God and we keep it in circulation, then it's not about hoarding it for our own selves, which would cause stagnation, which would lead to death. We then are simply vessels and channels through which God's blessings continue to flow through us and onto other people. We can't hold them or hold them for ourselves. Changing the metaphor later, he says, "If we choke the outlet, the current must slacken. And if a full and free flow can be obtained only by keeping it open." Judge Troward has voiced in these few words one of the greatest lessons that we have to learn concerning permanent prosperity. Just as we cannot have a healthy body without good circulation, so we cannot have healthy circumstances unless our wealth circulates freely. Jesus Christ gave a powerful illustration of this truth in his parable of the talents. There are a number of lessons in this particular parable. For those who have ears to hear, let them hear, right? The first is that God's is the ownership and ours is the stewardship. Second is found in the words, "to each according to his several ability." The idea is that we are expected to make good use of what we have demonstrated at any given point in our development. Keep it in circulation. We all have our own particular ability. That is, we have developed our God power in different ways and in different degrees. Each person is expected to use his present abilities in such a way as to increase them, and in so doing, develop greater abilities or gifts. It is evident that Jesus intended this teaching to be applied not only to the developing of our spiritual gifts, but also to the handling of our material wealth. If it were not so, he would have not used money transactions as an illustration. The two servants who used their Lord's money wisely by putting it into circulation and increasing it were highly praised and generously rewarded. The one who was afraid and through hoarding it took the money out of circulation could show no increase of the riches that had been entrusted to his care. And we are told that he was not only severely reprimanded, but that even the little he had was taken away from him. The implications of this parable may be expanded in such a way as to yield a great number of teachings of deep spiritual value. And one of these teachings has to do with prosperity. It reveals that circulation is the secret of increase. If we are to prosper, there must be only circulation of rich ideas in mind. There must be not only a circulation of rich ideas in mind, but the wealth that is the outpicturing of these ideas must also be kept in circulation. Fear and condemnation are allied with stagnation and death. Fear kills faith and prevents the divine ideas of God's almighty power and infinite goodwill from circulating freely in mind and affairs. Condemnation kills praise and appreciation. When we are criticizing and condemning our circumstances, we have no appreciation of God's presence within us as our unfailing source of all good. That's an interesting point to bring up, because when we begin to have a gratitude practice and we focus on gratitude, then we spend the day looking for things to be grateful for so that we can later write them down in our journals as these are the things we're grateful for that day. And so since a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways and you can only look at one thing at a time, if you're constantly looking for things to be grateful for, you find that you have more to be grateful for. So if you're in a space where you have been criticizing and condemning, you find that you have more and more to criticize and condemn, because then your mind is attuned to that. And the way to stop is to stop criticizing, stop condemning, and find a point of good, find a point of agreement, find something where you can hold on to that says, okay, that part is okay. Because as you can begin to appreciate even the smallest minuscule amount of something good, then you begin to shift in your mind to a space of seeing more good everywhere and thus having more good to report. When we are criticizing and condemning, our circumstances have no appreciation of God's presence with us as our unfailing source of all good. There can be no circulation of God's good where there is no praise of his presence. When the pocketbook is empty and the bank account limited, there should be no condemnation of either. No. Bless what you have on hand, whatever that may be, and break it and go forth, as best you can. When the pocketbook is empty, they should be blessed with the divine persistency. Webster's dictionary says that to bless is to praise or glorify, to grant divine favor to confer prosperity upon. You glorify your pocketbook or bank account when you praise or give thanks for the everywhere present spiritual substance you know now fills it to overflowing and takes the form of the funds desired according to your faith. That's where a practice in the praise and appreciation and recognition of divine substance comes in handy. Because even if you feel like your bank account is low, you can still praise your wallet, your bank account, your funds with the increase of divine substance, looking to see it manifest into physical form. Because divine substance is in fact all around. And that right there would be something to be grateful for, right? That you have the ability to reason and see that divine substance is everywhere present and available for, your direction to a certain end and purpose. Instead of condemning, you are granting divine favor to those receptacles of your divine abundance as you behold them to overflowing with the mental evidence of God's good will for you. By blessing instead of condemning, you truly confer prosperity upon your circumstances. I think we're going to leave it there for now. That's quite a bit to take in and to practice over the next few days. So we will be back here on Monday with our next reading, and I hope you have great things to report. I look forward to it in the comments. You all have a good one. Bye now.